Every single week, you're wasting hours of your life creating content that nobody will see. Worse yet, if you're a business owner, you're paying for people to do that for you. I've worked with some of the largest creators in the world and helped hundreds of founders to grow their personal brand online. I'm going to share with you a really simple framework that will immediately help you to create more effective content. This will save you 10 hours per week and is something that you can refer back to at any time. To begin, I have some questions for you. Is it true that the content you spend the most time on performs the best? Have you ever thrown up a post which took you minutes to write and that actually went on to get loads of engagement, followers, and maybe even leads for your business? Another question to think about is, do your best ideas come from 2 hours of brainstorming, or do your best ideas actually just come to you when you're on a walk or in conversation? These questions help us understand that it's not a case that time equals results when it comes to content. It's actually usually the case that the content you spend less time on performs better. And that's exactly what this video is about. When you're creating content, it's very much likely that the 20% of your posts actually led to 80% of your results. To test this for yourself, look at your analytics for last year. Is it the case that 20% or even less of posts led to 80% of your results? So whether you're creating content for yourself, for clients, or you work with an external agency, you have to understand this framework. Because if you have an inefficient process right now and you're looking to scale, you're actually just scaling inefficiency. Growing an audience doesn't have to be painful. Once you know what works for you, it's just a case of producing that high-performing content and doubling down on it when you have efficient processes in play. Use this framework to diagnose your current state of play. What category in the matrix are you in? And by the end of the video, I'll help you to produce content which takes low effort but has a high impact. So let's jump into the framework. So the framework is called the Effort Impact Matrix, and is something that I've created with my team after working personally in the industry, the social media industry, for almost a decade now. So I started when I was 17 and I'm 27 now. Every single week in my agency, I remind my team of this framework, and it's probably going to be written on my gravestone because I say low effort, high impact every single day. So this is the matrix. On the y-axis, we have effort, and on the x-axis, we have impact. Then there are just 4 categories to remember. It's super simple. You can draw this at any time whenever you're thinking that content creation is taking too long, if you're evaluating your content strategy, or if you're trying to understand what ideas, what high quality ideas can move the needle for your business. High effort, low impact content is the danger zone. In the danger zone, you need to change your approach. You're pouring time and resources into content that's not working, and you can't continue in that state. If you do stay on this path, you'll continue to waste hours and hours without seeing any results to show for it. So many businesses are unaware and in this situation, and they're probably not wanting to look at analytics, not wanting to chat to their social media department about what's happening. It doesn't feel like social media is working, but you feel like you have to have a presence, and you're in this no man's land, which I call the danger zone. Social media and content creation moves fast. Every platform has a different algorithm and trends, and a quick way to diagnose if you're in the danger zone is to ask yourself, have you changed anything about your content in the last 3 to 6 months? If you haven't, chances are your impressions, your views, and your traction are all on the decline. At the end of this video, I'll share with you how to get out of each stage, but for now, let's move on to the next category. When your content is high effort and high impact, you're putting a lot of time into your content and you are actually seeing results. So this is a good stage to be in. The problem is that it's not sustainable. In this zone, you should evaluate how to streamline everything that you're doing to trim the fat so that you can do it for longer. You've found success. It's now just about improving processes so that you can sustain it for longer. In the low effort to low impact zone, you're posting for post's sake. Your audience isn't resonating with what you're creating, and you have a scattered approach to what you publish. You don't have a system for producing content reliably, you don't know what content performs for your audience, and you don't have a content calendar which allows you to get ahead so you can show up every week, and for that to compound and to grow and to eventually aid your business or your personal brand, or both. In this low effort, low impact stage, you need to strategize. You need to relook at everything that you're doing and understand that it's simply not going to get to where you want to go, and you're definitely not achieving your goals if you stay in this zone. It might sound harsh, but for some businesses, you're better off not posting content, not having a team member or a freelancer on producing content every single week because the impact and what you have to show with it is just so minimal. Yes, when starting out with content creation for your business or personal brand, you do need to get the reps in. But at a certain point, you have to be honest with yourself when enough time has passed that the content does have to be good and it does have to have an impact depending on your goals and what your content strategy is trying to achieve. Now, the last stage is the ideal state to be in, which is low effort, high impact. And I like to call that the magic zone. In my opinion, the ideal state is when you found a high-performing content series that you can produce reliably. What I mean by this is you know exactly what your audience want, and when you publish content, you can be sure of the results, and that allows you to track how things are performing, you can measure more metrics, and you can begin to actually have projections and a trajectory of where your audience is growing. And if this is for your business, you can obviously tie awareness to your offer ladder, and you can begin to know what the awareness is doing for your company. So how does it feel to be in the magic zone? Well, creating content doesn't take a lot of time. It's high performing. You can reliably produce it. Maybe you've used AI or different tools to streamline the process, and you're getting both qualitative and quantitative indicators that everything's working. So in terms of qualitative, you're getting text messages or DMs of people saying that your content helped to solve a problem. And then quantitatively, the numbers are going up. So your audience is growing, engagement's increasing, views are increasing. And by focusing on the inputs, so how often you're posting each week, you over time are seeing outputs increase. You're seeing spikes. You're getting outlier posts. So, over a course of a month, 2 to 3 posts are performing outsized. You can reverse engineer why they're working, and then the next month's content calendar has more informed decisions and improvements. What I really want you to remember is that creating content has to be sustainable and frictionless. 9 out of 10 people can post in a given week and then don't show up for 3 weeks. If that's you, your content marketing will never really contribute to your personal brand or your business. Everything has to be sustainable. When it comes to building an audience, so much of the payoff is simply just by being in the game, being in the arena, showing up every day. And usually that means you've prepared content ahead of time, so you can not check LinkedIn for 3 days, but your content is out there working for your business or your personal brand. So what I want you to remember is that it doesn't take more time or money to go viral. And the best creators in the world aren't necessarily taking more time to create content or spending more money. In every corner of the matrix, you're putting effort into social media. But if you are doing it yourself, the hidden cost is obviously your time. So in 2 of the scenarios, you need to move from high effort to low effort and then do your best to get into the high impact zone. In the magic zone, content creation is changing your business. And if it's for your personal brand, it's changing your life. Now I want that for you, so let's jump into how you can get into the magic zone. To experience the benefits of creating high performing content in less time, you need to have a mindset shift. And I want to walk you through 3 ways to do that. So after this video, you can immediately make a change to improve the efficiency with your content. So regardless of the platform you're creating content on, I have to call something out. It's far more important that you have a high quality idea than you agonize over the packaging. Of course, the best creators in the world have the high quality idea that resonates, provides value to their audience, and is also packaged in a way which is native to the platform and it looks great. But just remember at the start that if you have a poor idea, it doesn't matter if you've recorded a video in a studio or it's packaged in a beautiful design. It won't get shared, it won't get saved, and it won't do anything because it's not helping people. On the contrast, just spending a little bit more time on the ideas of the content, chatting to customers, getting feedback, or using some of the methods I'm about to teach you, focus on the idea because that will still get saved, shares, and it will gain traction, and it will help to grow your personal brand and your authority in your niche. Even if it's not packaged that well and doesn't look that beautiful, it's about content. So here are 3 ways to get into the magic zone. And if you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like and leave a comment on what stage of the matrix you're currently in and ask any questions and I'll be sure to answer them in the comments. 1, observe what the best people in your industry are doing and why their content is working. We never need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to creating content. No 2 posts are equal and no 2 ideas are the same. So if you're stuck for time, why not start on a solid foundation and actually begin with content that has already helped people and then put your unique spin, experience, or insight onto that content. This is called stealing like an artist. Never just copy someone's post, but you can take inspiration of the topic and just remember that there's no unique messages online, only unique messengers. So it's really about what you can bring to the table as a practitioner instead of just being a parrot, which is just saying things that's been said before. And if that sounds interesting, I actually have a newsletter called Parrots vs. Practitioners, which you can check out in the description box. To give you 2 examples, so on YouTube, you can go to any channel and filter videos by most popular. So this allows you to see the outliers, and you can use tools like vidIQ, 1 of 10, to actually show you what certain videos have performed against the channel's other videos. So you can see a channel's average engagement and what videos perform better. On LinkedIn, you can do the same thing. So you can head to anyone's profiles and use a tool called Clio, where it will filter their best performing posts. So when observing these high performing posts, it could be the topic, it could be the hook, the copywriting, the style of video, the carousel, the design. There's so many things to analyze. And as you begin to look at more pieces of content, you're only going to get better at spotting what's working. They say that success leaves clues, and I found that definitely to be the case. Another thing which always gets me in the mood to evaluate other people's content is that some businesses have social media departments with 50, 100 staff, and they're A/B testing everything from the hooks. If it's YouTube, titles, thumbnails, let them do the work, build the skill of seeing what works, but then, as I say, bring your insight and experience to the platform, and that's how you'll stand out and build your personal brand. The next method to get to the magic zone more consistently is to understand your own magic. So what types of content are easiest for you to create? For some people, it's writing content. For others, it's talking on the camera or being on a podcast or answering questions from their team. So we're all unique, and this is a really easy way to reduce the effort it takes to create content. And then to get from low impact to high impact, it's about experimentation, iteration, and with every post, trying to find those 1% improvements. So for me, I definitely find I'm most creative on meetings. So we record almost every meeting in my business, and therefore we have transcripts of any random ideas that came up for content. I do also enjoy writing, but I now know myself that I have to have specific writing slots in my calendar to try and batch that. It never works for me on the weekdays. It has to be weekends and dedicated time. So just try what works for you and realize that that's your individual fingerprint. So that's your specific magic. And if you do that, content creation will be more sustainable going forward. In general, I'm a huge advocate for just enjoying the process. Chances are you do enjoy creating content, but it gets stressful when posts don't perform or when it takes too long, which is the whole point of this video. Lastly, create content when you feel creative. So if you're creating content which is easier for you, well, why not multiply that efficiency by also creating when you actually feel creative? Don't try and force it. If I'm tired on Sunday at 8 p.m., a newsletter could take me 4 hours. Whereas actually, if it's Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and I'm feeling fresh, I could actually probably write 2 to 3 newsletters in that time. So on top of being aware of what content you find easy to create, double that up with creating that type of content at the time you create it best. So this taps into the principles of energy management, where you've written 10 tweets in 10 minutes, 2 newsletters in an hour, or you fired off, 10 videos and 10 TikToks in the space of 20 minutes. When you can disconnect your inputs from your outputs, that's when you'll benefit from leverage and win time back for what actually matters. So for the next time in a creative slump, whip out the matrix and draw out effort and impact. This will take some time up front, but once you crack the formula and get towards that magic zone and you can stay there, you'll be able to create high performing content sustainably every single week and grow your personal brand or completely change your business. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and leave in the comments what stage of the matrix you're in. If you have any specific questions or videos you want me to make on this channel, please leave that in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.